approximately February of 2007, I got a friend from an old buddy that I haven't heard from for about 5 years. His name was Adam. Adam called me on the phone, and the first thing I said is, "Okay, Adam, what do you have?" Because Adam, I know Adam, and the only reason he would call me because he had something he wanted to tell me. And he said, "Mike, I've got this computer that I hook up to my tap water, and my eyesight's getting better." So I hung up on him. It's February, it's season, I'm busy, I don't need to hear this craziness. So he called me back and said, "Oh, we got disconnected." I said, "No, Adam, I hung up on you. Don't call me back with this crazy BS." So he didn't. About 2 weeks later, he calls me on the phone. I said, "Adam, don't call me back." And he said, "Oh, but I'm outside, and my son's with me, and we want to see you." And I said, "Okay, Adam, come on in." Before I knew it, he had his DVD player, and I was watching this Romy fellow and his testimony, and I didn't have time. I was doing paperwork. I watched it, which was interesting, and I said, "Adam, forget it. Don't want to hear it. Got to go. I got to do a service call." Called me back a week later, said, "Did you watch the full video?" I said, "No," and then he stopped calling. Then I was wondering, if Adam stopped calling, something was up. So I looked at the DVD, and I was amazed at what this water was doing in Japan, so I researched it for 2 or 3 weeks. And I said, "Okay, I'm sold." He had me. So I said, "Adam, I want to try some water." I said, "Where can I go in Fort Myers?" And he said, "Nowhere." "What about Marco Island? What about the West Coast?" No. I said, "What, are you kidding me? Where do I have to go to get water?" He said, "Miami or Orlando, Florida." And I wasn't going to travel 3.5 hours to get water. So we had a trip planned up to West Virginia for Easter vacation because I have 4 kids, plumber with 4 kids. And when I got back, I ordered the machine, and when I got back, my machine was waiting for me. Now, being a plumber, sometimes you get a rash. Sometimes you get a real bad rash. And I had a real bad rash over our vacation. Matter of fact, I started getting pains in my lower abdomen. And I didn't have an opportunity to get to the doctor because I thought, well, I'll just sit through it. But it felt like I was dying. So when I got back home, my machine was there. I set it up. Well, first I made an appointment with my doctor. Then I set it up and started drinking the water that Wednesday. Thursday, I went to the doctor, and it was a new doctor. I mean, I've been with the same firm for 5 years, and I've had 3 or 4 different doctors. Apparently, if the doctors don't give enough prescriptions out, they get rid of them. So, a new doctor, I introduced myself to him, and he did my vitals. He said, "Geez, you have high blood pressure." And I thought to myself, I have high blood pressure? And he looks in his sheets, and he said, "You've had high blood pressure ever since you've been coming here." And apparently, at that time, it was 162 over 102. But I was more concerned about my rash and the pain in my side. So he gave me a prescription for antibiotics and steroids because I actually had some boils, and it was pretty bad. So I went home that night, made some great acidic water, laid back, and put it on my rash. The next morning, my wife and I were just amazed. 50% of the rash was gone, and it was amazing. So I kept doing the acidic water on my rash, and I went back for a follow-up 2 weeks later. Went back, my rash was gone. The doctor said, "Hey, great, the medicine was doing well." And I said, "Well, I lost the prescriptions, but I was using my acidic water on it." And he looked at me kind of funny, and I told him about the machine I had. Beknownst to me, my wife made an appointment with a doctor for a colonoscopy 6 weeks later. So 6 weeks later, I get a call, and they say, "Oh, you have an appointment tomorrow for a colonoscopy." And I said, "Great, I'll be there," because I wanted to see what my colon looked like. We went in there, and the nurse came up, took my vitals, and she looks at me and my wife, and she says, "Yep, normal." And we looked at each other and said, "What do you mean normal?" She said, "Yeah, your blood pressure is 110 over 80. And I said, "It can't be." And I said, "Take the other arm, would you?" And we got into a little scuffle because she's been a nurse for 15 years and she knows what she's doing. I told her, I said, "No, please, because I have high blood pressure." She took it again, and it was normal. So my wife and I were just again amazed. So I went back. I said, "Document that to me." Then I went back to my other physician, and I got my vitals. My blood pressure for the last 5 years was no less than 150 over 100. And so at that time, we were pretty much sold with the machine.